Right now, I feel that 2024 is run by faster than Karrion Kross's undefeated streak on the main roster.
Powerbomb down.
Yeah, that didn't age well. Anyways, guys, before we get into this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and put the bell on for all notifications. Now, on to my Survivor Series predictions.
On November 30th, for the first time ever in Vancouver, the War Games begin.
Starting with Gunther and Damian Priest, I care about this feud. At the start of it, I was like, I don't know, like we're kind of like running it back to stuff we've already seen through the summer, and it's kind of been drawn out. But right now, Gunther and Damian Priest right now for me is one of the most important feuds in WWE. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship has felt a little bit lackluster since WrestleMania, and I'll tell you right now, it's giving me the start to a major build to WrestleMania. Damian Priest might not come out with this title, and I'm okay with that because he was a great champion going through the summer, and ending this feud with Gunther or prolonging this feud with Gunther is going to give it stature and credibility that it definitely needs. On Monday Night Raw, Priest and Gunther had a great segment to start the show where Gunther didn't need to say anything. This docile, almost humbled Gunther is really giving me a lion that has not been fed in a while and is going to be unleashed hungry out of the cage. Damian Priest put himself over by destroying Gunther with the Razor's Edge through the announce table, but right now I am struggling to see how Damian Priest walks out of Survivor Series with the World Heavyweight Championship. With that being said, Damian Priest doesn't need to walk out of Survivor Series. Gunther holding this title, going to the Royal Rumble, and potentially going into WrestleMania in Las Vegas is a good presentation. Potentially, when you have almost Drew McIntyre returning, you could put Punk in the situation, you could put Seth Rollins back in the situation, and there are so many opportunities for so many big players to come and feud with Gunther that Gunther is not out of options once this match with Damian Priest is done. But Damian Priest is being packaged as a major tweener babyface on Monday Night Raw right now, and going into Netflix, I have a feeling we are going to get stuff we have never seen when it comes to feuds. There are going to be multiple storylines for each feud, and this is going to be the catalyst going with the World Heavyweight Championship. So with my prediction, I am going with Gunther and still World Heavyweight Champion, but I do believe that there is a lot more to this story, and both these men are in for a hell of a ride when we get into Netflix. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura, or whatever version of Shinsuke Nakamura we are getting for the United States Championship. Again, another feud I truly care about. Shinsuke Nakamura has come back, given us this darker, almost, for me, it's the only anime that I can reference, a Death Note style persona when it comes to his character, and I'm absolutely here for it. This version of Nakamura is the Nakamura we have needed for a very long time. LA Knight has held the US title with prestige, and I'm happy to see him run with it longer, but if he loses it at Survivor Series, I'm definitely not mad because he's not out of the US title picture. Nakamura is out for vengeance when it comes to LA Knight. The storytelling for this has been very short, but very good over the past several weeks when it comes to trying to explain why Nakamura is out there. LA Knight has been a great US champion since SummerSlam. I can see potentially him holding on to it and Logan Paul coming back and trying to feud with him when it comes to the US title, but I think a change and LA Knight chasing for the title again is always more entertaining than when they have the title. Kind of like the Cody Rhodes syndrome. Cody finishing the story was the best story that Cody has told so far. Now leading into the Kevin Owens thing, it's a little different, but this whole finishing the story and then now what have you done with it? It's kind of the same thing with LA Knight. You have had some open challenges, no real build to any feuds, but with Shinsuke Nakamura, him chasing that title again is a major draw in my mind. So for my prediction on this one, even though I am hyping up Shinsuke Nakamura, I'm still saying LA Knight is going to hold on to this title for a little bit longer, but I think we are just going to get a more and more vicious version of Shinsuke Nakamura. This match might end up in a disqualification, but LA Knight's still going to retain his title. At Royal Rumble, though, I can see him dropping that title potentially to Shinsuke Nakamura. Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. This is a glorious match to have, 1 in Vancouver, 2 at Survivor Series, and 3 with 3 different styles of wrestlers involved. Sheamus being the uber babyface, Ludwig Kaiser being the despicable heel, and they are showing that they are using Braun Breaker as a true tweener. He's not a face, he's not a heel, it's however the crowd perceives him. He's basically been given free reign to do whatever he wants, however he wants, and this is how WWE is probably going to run with him for the foreseeable future. Sheamus never winning the Intercontinental title, Ludwig Kaiser stepping out on his own away from Gunther to really go after his first title in WWE, and then Braun Breaker being the 2nd or 3rd generation superstar that he is, giving us the best matches. I'm surprised he did not shatter his ribs on Monday Night Raw going into that table, but that just shows what this man gives to the business and what he's trying to accomplish when it comes to being a champion in WWE. Now, when it comes down to how this match can go and how everyone looks strong, nobody believes for a second Ludwig Kaiser is walking out with the Intercontinental Championship. Listen, I'd be happy. I think he's been doing great work over the last 18 months being the lackey for Gunther, but also building that despicable heel persona. Now, Braun Breaker, if he loses his title, he's probably not going to lose via pin. Ludwig Kaiser's probably taking the pin in this match. It's just, is it Sheamus or is it Braun Breaker? At the end of the day, if Braun Breaker's thrown out the ring and Sheamus gets the pin and wins his first IC title, I can see it because he's not going to hold it for long. Braun Breaker and him are just going to feud going into Netflix, and probably on the first episode of Netflix, Braun Breaker wins it back again, kind of like what we saw with Jey Uso. At the end of the day, who's going to win this match? It doesn't really matter. Everyone's going to look strong, but I'm going to go with Sheamus and new Intercontinental Champion. I'm telling you right now, Sheamus doesn't have much longer of a run in WWE, and there's no way you cannot give Sheamus the title that has eluded him for his entire career. So I'm going with Sheamus pinning Ludwig Kaiser and new Intercontinental Champion, and Sheamus finally a Grand Slam champion. So guys, let me know in the comments how you feel about this match and how it could go, because I feel Braun Breaker's just going to get laid out, probably put through a table, and then Sheamus is gonna get the cheeky little roll up or a bro kick and then pin for the 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and from what it looks like, Bayley versus the Judgment Days, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae in War Games. I didn't do it as well as William Regal. Insert Regal. War Games! This match is very interesting because there's a lot of more caveats than what people are kind of perceiving as just a traditional 5v5 face versus heel match. You have the likes of Tiffany Stratton that could easily cash in on Nia Jax or Liv Morgan during War Games, which would be an insanely crazy pop to start the night, because I'm pretty sure the women's War Games match is going to start the night. With that being said, so you have the opportunity of a cash-in. We've been teased with a Bianca Belair heel turn. Jade Cargill was taken out by somebody, and after Monday Night Raw, I'm convinced that we are finally getting a Bianca Belair heel turn. This is very much like the parking lot attack that we had with Triple H and Shawn Shawn Michaels, two very, very close friends that finally just had enough, and Triple H, being the Bianca Belair being the Triple H in this, is going to get called out by Jade Cargill. I won't be surprised if they go right back to that entire story where Jade Cargill does a live via satellite saying, Bianca, it was you and I'm coming, and this leads into that feud going into WrestleMania.
It was you, Hunter.
I love it. Just rinse and repeat, especially with a storyline that good. So I think we've got that caveat. We also have potential of Naomi with a heel turn, Bayley with some heel tactics coming out of Monday Night Raw as well. There is a lot more going on with this match than just a 5v5 War Games match. There's a lot of real alphas in the women's division in this match, and I think people are sleeping on how good this match could actually be. I'm not going to say the wrestling and the entire performance is going to be great, but the storytelling, which is why a lot of people watch WWE, is for the story. That is going to be fantastic, because you don't know what bomb or explosion or turn or twist is going to happen when it comes to this women's War Games match. There's a lot here to digest. You could even see Raquel potentially inadvertently taking out Liv Morgan, which could cost, you know, a Tiffany Stratton cash in, and then there's a feud between Raquel and Liv. At the end of the day, we have no idea. But what I'm looking forward to is the storytelling. So if I'm going to pick, I'm going to say Rhea Ripley, Bianca, Naomi, Io, and Bayley win this with a Tiffany Stratton cash in on Nia Jax. You never know. You guys let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm overbooking the hell out of this, but we haven't even gotten into the men's War Games match, and that's the one that I'm overbooking like crazy. But let me know in the comments how you feel about the women's War Games match, because there's so much more to look at. The OTC Bloodline, flanked by CM Punk and the wise man Paul Heyman, versus the Timu Bloodline in Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, Big Jacob Fatu, and Bronson Reed. This match is full of snakes in the grass.
There's a little snake in the grass right there.
When it comes to the OTC Bloodline, I made a smaller video about this on my Instagram page earlier last week, and I stand by this. I do not trust the wise man. I do not trust CM Punk, and I definitely don't trust that snake in the grass, Sami Zayn. There is so much that is about to happen when it comes to the OTC Bloodline that we don't even really need to worry about the Timu Bloodline doing anything. All they have to do is sit back, relax, and take the pin, because the OTC Bloodline is that, in fact, the OTC Bloodline. It is Roman Reigns and the Usos against all in this match, and nobody sees it. If this is wrong, you guys can come from me in the comments. I will openly eat humble pie and say I was wrong, but there is a major turn about to happen when it comes to these members that are added into the OTC Bloodline. People are like, oh, Steve, why would Sammy turn on the Bloodline? He's the one been trying to help and recruit. Well, if you look back at 2022, he was put through a testing process that was completely unfair, and like we know in WWE, everyone holds a grudge. Sami Zayn was forced to enter as number 2 to go help Jey Uso and prove his worth by stopping Kevin Owens when it came to getting the pin in War Games. Show your loyalty, Sammy. Well, that helps turn people. We saw what happened going into WrestleMania 39, everything that led through to the breakup of the OTC Bloodline. I'm telling you right now, Sami Zayn is holding a grudge against Roman Reigns. I don't think Roman is out of the woods yet. Now, CM Punk. The only reason I'm going with the CM Punk thing is because he's a Paul Heyman guy. He's the Paul Heyman guy. And secondly, Roman Reigns and CM Punk are going to be on Raw together, predominantly going into Netflix. CM Punk is a Monday Night Raw guy. If CM Punk costs Roman Reigns, there's your feud going into WrestleMania. Punk doesn't need to go for the world title. Punk can just go after Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. It's written in the stars. We've already found out Roman is going to be active on Monday Night Raw for Netflix. Why would he be there? Maybe he's pissed off at somebody for costing him a WarGames match. That makes sense. Who's going to be by his side? Oh, his wise man, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman came out dressed like Solo. There is so much to break down in this. At the end of the day, I can make it a complete video just on why Roman Reigns should not trust the people that are currently in his bloodline. At the end of the day, we've got Friday Night SmackDown. I guarantee Jacob Fatu beats Jey Uso, not because of any spoilers, just because they're still trying to make Jacob look super strong on TV. Jacob will beat Jey Uso, and they will have the advantage, and then there'll be the turn at the end of the match. Maybe even The Rock comes out and somehow gets involved with both bloodlines and then just says, you know what, Roman, you've lost control as the tribal chief. Solo, you're nowhere near the tribal chief. And The Rock walks out and just takes the Ulufalu. So at the end of the day, my prediction: Timu Bloodline, Solo, Jacob, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Big Bronson Reed walk out of WarGames, and there's going to be a lot of questions and not so many answers when it comes to the OTC Bloodline. Guys, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and put the bell on for all notifications that are the MrTeshk Wrestling channel. Don't forget, Survivor Series starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be live on my Twitch channel and here on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern. Guys, like always, be good people.